It gives us the greatest of pleasures here at the Bank House to announce the brand new bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Astley-Morton.
There's just been an addition to my speech. Teresa Harrison has just suggested, because of my nerves, that I imagine everybody naked. It's over there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. For those who don't know me, I'm Paul. I'm Paul. Brother to Dion, brother-in-law to Phil. I would like to start by thanking everybody. Touching this. Thanking everybody. I have to stay there like this. For coming far and wide. But then, in all fairness, who would pass up a free, wonderful day out like this? It's not a free bar.
Yeah, we know.
It's my honour to be the first to congratulate you both on your first day as husband and wife. Woo! And I'm thanking you for your undoubted hard work and planning that you've both put together in this amazing event. Everything has turned out beautifully. Including you, Dee. And Phil scrubbed up well too. It's a compliment, you do. Actually, they complement each other perfectly. I haven't met a more compatible couple. Dee likes to tell Phil what to do. Phil likes Dee to tell Phil what to do. It's like they're already married. I first met Dee a long time ago. Growing up together, I would do the big brother thing. Try to protect her, but she didn't need me. She got Dingle Bell. And for those of you who don't know who Dingle Bell is, there's a one-eyed, limb-torn, stuffing-oozing teddy bear. He was like something out of a Chucky horror film. But as frightening as Dingle Bell was, Dee loved him. Now she's got a new Dingle Bell. With 2 eyes, his limbs intact, and plenty of stuffing.
He's a target.
And his handsomely, devilishly good looks, of course. I was first made aware of Phil about 7 years ago. Woo. He started out as a rumour. I asked a little bit about him. Where does he live? What's he like?
What's his intention?
Is he loaded?
I used to be, mate.
Baron! Good job. Apparently they went to school together. But I remember most, I was told he was a bit like Michael McIntyre. Which, it's great. Michael McIntyre's funny, so I was looking forward to meeting him. When I first met him, he was alright. Mildly funny. Met him again. Yeah, he's good stock for Dee. Bit funnier. But as time's gone on, I've worked out he's the best thing that could have happened to Dee. He's the best thing ever for Dee. Great. And he's bloody hilarious! Even more so than McIntyre. Now, going back to their compatibility. I've now got to lower the tone big time. Sorry, everybody. For me, this subject is a recent phenomenon for Dee. But since Phil, I'm reading now, sorry everybody, has come onto the scene, he's brought the best out in her, literally. Raspberries, botty birds, this is a good one, killing the canary, silent but deadly. Yes, I'm talking farts. Yes, madam. You may look all demure and beautiful over there, but you give any man a run for their money. Even Phil cut the cheese, Astley-Morton. I'm proud of your botty burping, Dee. I'm now calling you Dion, shooting the Fenary. Fairy, shooting the fairy, Astley-Morton. I forgot the red wine that was. Weber trained. Dion and Phil are both part of that merry band of barbecuers. Now I've got barbecue envy, but I'm proud of Phil. He takes it to a different level. This year, we went on a holiday, camping holiday. Phil was adamant he was going to take his barbecue with him. Has anybody seen his barbecue? Yeah, big barbecue. He hired a transit van to take it with us. Yeah. Barbecue went in first. Gas. All the accessories. And then it was packed in with the duvets, pillows, and everything else that we needed to go camping with. Phil cooked chops, chicken, sausages, bacon, steak, sausages. Yeah, he cooked a lot of sausages. Even I couldn't keep up with the eating. Phil has taken me to concerts, to cricket. He's bought me iced buns, which are his favourite. He's bought me Cadbury's caramel eggs, which is my favourite. He's bought me a probe for barbecuing. At least I think that's what it was for. But Phil, you didn't need to buy me those things. You've always been a brother to me. It's just official now. I'd also like to welcome you and your family to our family.
Thank you.
Dee, I know you don't like being the centre of attention.
Okay.
Obviously some people don't agree with that. I'll speak to you later, I'd like to know more. You always like to help other people.
That's true. That's true.
You're extremely hard working. Now we do have other people here that you used to work with, is that true? Well, I think you're hard working.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, you're the epitome of how you should live your life. I say hard-working and thoughtful and loving.
Yeah.
You're thoughtful, loving and kind beyond belief. Born out by all the friends and family that are here today. Cliched, I know, but you're both beautiful on the outside and massively beautiful on the inside. On behalf of everyone here today, I wish you both all the happiness in the world. Can we please be upstanding to Mr. and Mrs. Astley-Morton? Upstanding to Mr. and Mrs. Astley-Morton! I forgot to say what a lucky man he is.
I'm apologising in advance for this. It is not short. I would like to say that firstly, over the last year or so, I have made this speech in my head about 500 times.
Oh dear.
On every one of those occasions, it was bloody hilarious. So if it isn't tonight, you probably need to take some responsibility. is all I'm saying. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm aware there's a little bit of tension in the room, and there are a couple of matters I want to address so that everybody can relax a little bit.
Speak up.
Beg your pardon?
Speak up.
Can you hear me okay?
That's better.
Okay, I need to talk straight into the microphone. First thing that everybody always thinks at some point at a wedding, when they've already had something to eat and an annoying nerd has started speaking, people think to themselves, what's the earliest I can legitimately bugger off? There's a very simple rule on this, which is that any time after 10 o'clock is fine, you can just go, you don't need to make an excuse. Any time before 10 o'clock, you need to have a pre-prepared lie about a babysitter or similar. Now there is one exception in the room to this. This is Matthew and Kay, who sit over there. On Matthew and Kay's wedding day, I had tickets to the Ashes. You guys, you're staying to the end. actually, I've already volunteered you for clearing tables. So if anybody sees them leave, yeah, try and stop them. Security on the doors. A few thank yous to do. First thing, we've got some flowers that are going to be handed out. Firstly, to Dion's lovely mum, Linda, my mother-in-law. Secondly, to my mum at the other end of the table. And I'll let Dion actually hand the flowers over. And thirdly, to the head of the family. Now, Bob, I know you think that's you. Everybody else knows it's your mother-in-law. So the incomparable Anne Morrison. Okay. Finally, before I finish with the thank yous, I would like to thank our wedding planner and coordinator. She's been with us right from the start. She's done an incredible job. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Dion Astley-Morton. One of the great things about being with Dion is that you very rarely are in any doubt about where you should be or what you should be doing, and having that degree of certainty in your life is fantastic. So going on to the next area of tension in the room that I can sense, that I want to address. I'm calling this, if my remote will work, hang on a moment. Here we go, goes to the machine. Okay, the elephant in the room. Okay. Corny, sorry. So, I understand that this doesn't make any sense. Okay, so for those of you that are seeing something that looks a little bit like this, it's okay to say it out loud. I'm with you guys. If Dion wants to date a bloke with short legs and a head that looks like a potato, that's up to her. You should not be judging her. Okay, so I then thought, well, weddings are quite factionalised by their very nature. Many people will be sat on the table with people they don't really know, and they may know their own little clique or people that they've worked with or met in the past. But I thought it would be nice and inclusive to try and explain to you who you're all in the room with today. So I thought that would be an interesting thing to do, and actually it brought about a bit of a crisis of confidence on my part. Now, those nerds, or those that know me as being a bit of a nerd, won't be surprised. I've got some charts to go through. Attendees today. Team First, 32%. Team Dion. And I thought to myself, is it really true that my wife is more than twice as popular as I am? So I thought, well, you can prove anything with statistics, so I'm going to. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a jaunty little piece that I call, if I click the button enough times, a statistical analysis of the relative popularity of Phil and Dion based upon attendees at the wedding. Now, you don't need to worry about taking notes. These slides will be available as a handout. There's also an extended version of this presentation that I will be doing for Dion in the penthouse later. That's just for her. So I thought I'd turn my attention to Team Dion. Who are you? And are you really a function of popularity? Okay. 40% of Team Dion are family. Now that is, now that's not exclusively, but that's mainly her brother's kids. concerned, I did have to check that I wasn't marrying a pikey. But I've checked outside, no obvious caravans, you all seem to be reasonably nice people, Okay, the next section, partners. This is, you might be going out with a family member, you might be the other half of one of Dion's friends. But again, we're looking at popularity here. We've got 61% of Team Dion who have got no bloody choice. They're here whether they like you or not. Okay. Now, things are about to get dark now. The next category, it's the next elephant in the room, and the reason why a comparison of us on popularity grounds is not reasonable. And that is, some of the people, I apologise to the kids in advance here, some of the people in this room became friends with Dion in the first place because she's hot. Okay? Now, my point is that I don't have any such people on my list. Anybody that became friends with me in the first place because I'm hot, feel free to raise your hand. That's not true. Okay, now, alright mate, there's a reason for this. It's not because I'm not hot, but I don't want people like that in my life. I'm not a piece of meat. Okay. So anybody like that who's clearly just wants a piece of this, they're out. So you exist in the room, and you know who you are. But I didn't really want to cause any embarrassment. I just wanted to get it out of the way. So the next category, perverts. So and you know who's there. Now, I'd like to point out, and this is quite a modern way of thinking, that this isn't just men. Okay, and I'd like to say, and again, you know who you are, so I'd like to say that, just in case you're unaware, groping a woman's bottom without her consent is a criminal offence. Julie Neal. No, it's a criminal offence, Julie. And that's mine now. Yes, so on that basis, hashtag #MeToo does not mean this is my The next category is an upsetting one for me. Traitors. These are people who were originally Team Phil, who met Dion and jumped the divide. Karen Foster, not even going to try for that. And Joanne, Zara, and Chloe Sargent, I had a relationship with those girls dating back in some instances 14 years. They met Dion in February, and by the end of a weekend they were leaping like salmon over the left side of the net. Not good. Okay. Friends. Okay, so this is legitimate. These are people that have a choice to be here. But as you can see, barely 1 in 5. Final category, unclassified. Now, I don't want you to feel offended if you're unclassified. This basically means I don't know enough about your relationship with Dion to be able to put you in one of those other categories. Now, that's technically Dion's fault, because I have been told the nature of the relationship, but I was then probably told a very long story about a problem you had with a fence. And at some point I have defragged my brain and all of the information pertaining to that story is gone. So, there's your analysis of Team Dion, and I think we can agree it's a fairly damning position. But I can see quite a bit of disquiet in the room. And the reason there's some disquiet in the room is people, you're looking at me, you're ahead of me, you're going, Phil, the problem is, these categories are not mutually exclusive. And you'd be right, wouldn't you? You might be looking at this and thinking, well, I'm someone's partner, but I would also regard myself as a friend of Dion's. So where do I sit on the chart? It's a fair question. You may also be thinking, well, I'm a distant cousin of Dion's, but I'm also a massive pervert. again, that doesn't really help you position yourself in the job. And I can see people looking at it, they're going, is my clicker still working? They're going, Phil, what are you going to do about this? Now, in particular, I've noticed that the Cox family has a table that's full of very talented mathematicians, and Daniel Cox, and they're, sorry Dan, sorry not sorry, and they're saying, Phil, how are you going to get out of this one? And I go, it's okay, please let me introduce the Venn diagram. Now, it isn't very often that a Venn diagram gets a cheer. Now, I want to talk you through this diagram with aid of my pointer. Now, I'm hoping that there isn't anybody in here that is in this category, because if that's true, we've just invited some offenders who have no whatsoever. Over here in the middle, friends but also perverts. Now, we would have mentioned Julie Neal, I'm not going to embarrass her by mentioning it again. Julie, I would say you're not on your own in there. At very least, you were drinking a cocktail with Catherine Harris down the front there. So, yeah, that category is quite straightforward. Now, friends. Again, nice and straightforward, just decent people that are friends of Dion's. I'm not going to mention any of them by name, because loads of them massively high maintenance, and the ones I don't mention will kick off. Now, that just leaves us with the partners section. And again, if you're a partner of somebody that's a friend of Dion's, and you want to know how to classify yourself on the Venn diagram, I can help you. It's a very simple rule. Okay, this section. If you have said to your other half during the week, oh, I'm really excited about going to Dion's wedding this week, then clearly you are in this nice section here. You are a partner, but also a friend. If, however, you said to your other half at any point this week, where are we going again on Saturday? You're in that section. You're just a partner. You're here under duress. If at any point this week you have said to your other half, where are we going this week on Saturday, and your other half has said to you, we're going to Dion's wedding, and you've said, is that the one with the bangers? You're in there. Now, there is of course one section here that I've missed, which is right in the middle. Somebody who is a friend, a pervert, and a partner. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Bully's special prize, Mr. Michael Harris. Now, I would say for those of you that haven't met Mike, he does have some fascinating views on continuing development in the business environment, and he's happy to share them with you. Health and safety warning, never look directly at his teeth. Yeah, it's, you'll be blinded. I've had to filter this. Mike, I don't want you to be offended as being Bully's special prize. Effectively, you are the human embodiment of that. And to be honest, who is not looking at that, particularly the men in the room, and going, do you know what, I still aspire to own that? So, that's the end of Team Dion, and I think we can now agree they're a pretty run bunch, and you're beginning to look a bit better about things. Okay. Then it gets really dark. Okay. Team Phil. 29% family, bit of a run bunch as well, but delighted they're here. Partners, 29%, same situation. So again, my stats slightly better than Dion's. We've now got 58% compared with their 61, and people who are here for me who don't have any choice. Okay, now it gets really dark. Only a few people will understand why. Next category. Michael Copson. Mike is sat over here. Now the people that don't know Mike, your lives are amazing. And they may be thinking to themselves, why has one bloke been given a category to himself? Whereas anybody that knows Mike will be going, of course Mike Copson has a category to himself, and I would have left if you put me in the same one. Now, it seems a bit unfair to pick on Mike, but I would like to say, he's the bloke that responds to every Facebook I put with the word cock. It isn't even context specific. Right, so I could put, one of the kids has been run over, they'll probably pull through though, and he will put cock. Fair enough. Now, I joke slightly because Mike is love him to bits, and he's the overachiever from our group from school days. He's done incredibly well. He worked in Formula One and travelled the world for many years. He's now a big deal in Shell. Super proud of him. Massive overachiever. But actually, the main reason that he's an overachiever in my eyes is he's got a girl with him. Now, none of us saw this coming. Therefore, my next category, future Mrs. Copson. You'll notice that that's in red. I didn't do that. PowerPoint did it itself on the assumption that it was a mistake. Where do we go next? Friends. 38%, a tolerant bunch that they are. I would like to introduce you to a few of them, or mention a few of them now. If I can click enough times. Okay. First one, Mr. Neil Wood, sat over here. He wasn't my first boss, but he was my first mentor. So, on a serious note, anybody that ever feels like they have benefited in some way from my professional abilities, such that they are, to some degree, have this man to thank. Notwithstanding that, he is the most self-opinionated, cantankerous man you could ever wish to know. And it was once said of him that he was a man who wasn't prepared to accept yes for an answer. Next, Marina, where are you?
Where's Marina?
Marina thinks she's going to get rinsed here. She's been thinking this is going to happen. Now, that actually isn't true. I'm going for a moment of sincerity here. Sincerity warning, yeah. Marina and I have been friends for 30 years, since I was 6. And in all 30 of those years, there has not been so much as a sharp word between us. Now, that's amazing in any friendship, but when one of the people is me, that's quite a feat. Marina, all I have to say to you is that every cricket match we've been to, every concert that I've been to, was better because you were there. And I don't think it's saying too much to say that I was still like a second mother to me.
Underhanded compliment or what?
Stinging the tail. Chris Williams, where is he? Somewhere around, massive bald head. Chris Williams from school, everyone. You remember? Over there? Take it up. No, nobody remembers Chris Williams from school. This is because the reason he's not memorable is he's just the most fundamentally decent man you could wish to meet. And that's not... People remember me for being a bit of a twat. Chris was just busy being a really nice bloke. And if the rest of the world was like Chris Williams, it would be a better place. There would, however, be quite a few barbers retraining as bacon. Mr. Sergeant, sat over here. He said he didn't want to be in my speech. Tough. Sergeant and I have been friends for again 14, 15 years, something like that. He's been transformational in my life in many ways. Friend, client, mentor, accomplice, partner in crime. You will understand that, or you'll get the pattern of the way that I'm going now, and understand that every other person that I've spoken about, there's been a little sting in the tail. It seems like it's going to be nice, and then there's a bit of abuse at the end. This relationship's way too lucrative for that. So I'd just like to say, as my little joke on the end, Sarge, you're already great, mate. Okay. Sparky, Marcus Killingworth, best man. This guy has been by my side for nearly 40 years, and for most of our adult lives, he's been on the other side of the world. I'll be missing some out, but he's lived in Chicago, Texas, China, Puerto Rico, Australia, Iran, now lives in Saudi Arabia. When people, a mate of mine, when he heard that my best man was coming from Saudi Arabia, and he said, "You really haven't got any mates, have you?" And now, in that same period of time that Marcus has been doing that, I've done a similarly exotic lap, which was Droitwich, Worcester, Solihull, Pershore, Droitwich. Notwithstanding that, for all of those, the thing I can say about him is he may have been on the other side of the world, but whenever I've needed him, he's been 30 seconds away. Any difficult times in my life, good times, bad times, he's been there the whole time, and love him to bits for it. Just recently, even, and this was kept out of the papers, but he and I, single-handedly, the two of us, fought off a Martian invasion in London. Like I say, this was kept out of the papers, but obviously because the word's still standing, obviously ultimately we prevailed, as you can see here. So you have all of us to thank for your lives. That's all I'm saying. Serious note, just for a moment, an actual serious note. Many, for all the friends that I've just mentioned, and those others of you that are in the room. There was a song many years ago by Bad Lerman called "Everyone's Free to Wear Sunscreen," and it was a piece of advice that was being issued by the dean of a university to some graduating students. And he had this to say on the subject of friendship: "Understand that friends come and go, but for the precious few you should hold on. Work hard to bridge the gaps in geography and lifestyle, because the older you get, the more you need the people you knew when you were young." I don't think there's ever been a truer word said. All the tolerated me through the journey so far, my actual sincere thanks, and there's not a joke on the end of that. Okay, we're nearly there now. Little analysis of the top table, so you know who everybody is. Yes, Linda, I can see you waving. Okay. Linda and Bob, the in-laws. Interesting story. So I first met Linda and Bob back in 2012. Dion took me up to their house, and it was a bit of a nerve-wracking moment. I'm sat there talking, minding my P's and Q's, trying to make the right impression, and I'm looking at Dion's mum, and I'm thinking, there's something familiar about you. Sorry, Linda, until I explain. And I'm looking at her, and I'm trying to think what it is that's familiar about her, and then the penny dropped. In 1989, I put my hand up her skirt. Now, I hasten to add this was an accident. Essentially, we were both we were at the same New Year's Eve party at the Pear Tree in Worcester, and I joined a conga that was going upstairs, timed it slightly wrong, and surprised the lady in front of me, who spun round and a little bit surprised. Now, it's interesting the way time gives you a different perspective, because I didn't really think anything of it, and for the 25 years that followed it, I thought the only embarrassing thing that happened that night was Rich Dayas over there got off with a really ugly girl. Now, as it turns out, the most embarrassing thing that happened that night was done by me. Bob, I've had great fun with. He's been an absolute blast. I knew I'd hit it off well with Bob from the word go, because I went home and I said to my parents, I got on really well with Bob. He's already got a nickname for me. So what's he called? He calls me Bluey. Okay? I was delighted. Turns out he calls everybody Bluey. Apart from women who are called young lady, or the plural of young lady, which is irregular, dolly birds. The other thing I'd say to Bob, not only is he my father-in-law, he's also our builder. So, to the fellas in the room, if your dream is to buy a perfectly decent house and then turn it into something that's big enough to ram full of someone else's kids, have a chat with Bob, he'll sort you out. Okay, next in line, bonus children. The speech marks are important here. Dion tells people that back in the day I'd said that I didn't really want to be with somebody that got children or dogs. Now, lifestyle, but she was beautiful, they seemed very nice, but I was playing the long game, and actually it started out quite well, because Dion and I had been together for less than 2 weeks, and an 8-year-old Georgia left home. This was because Matthew had said that she smelt of poo. Now, I visited Georgia in her new house. I say house, it was the curb next door but one. And although I was pleased that she'd moved out, I tried to be the adult. And I said, "Why have you moved out, Georgia?" "Matthew says I smell of poo." And I said, "Yeah, it's not true, is it, darling?" And she looked at me and she said, "It is." Notwithstanding that, she did move back in later that day. Next, Matt. Matt is the human equivalent of a lion, in that he spends most of his life resting and eating, and resting and eating, and resting and eating, peppered with very, very occasional bouts of physical activity, like this. What I'd like to say about this is not only is he talented, but he is an incredibly quick learner. All of these things, I show him once, he's gone. On this basis, Matt is without doubt the coolest person I know. And one of the genuine highlights of the last year for me was when Matt was going out and he asked if he could borrow one of my shirts. I have never felt so cool. Porge, Georgia to everybody else, Porge to us. A couple of things that you need to know. Some of it's going over old ground. Smells of poo. Self-confessed. So yeah. Other thing though, dangerously witty. Do not engage. You do not want to engage this girl. We had an incident that was very damaging for me a couple of weeks ago. Georgia was speaking in a very grumpy way in the morning, with like sort of growling and not really wanting to engage. And Dion said to her, "Georgia, stop talking like that. You sound like a man." And I said, being me, bit of a twat, I said, "Yeah, and the beard's a bit of a giveaway." And she said, without even looking up, "At least I can grow one." I would not be making that my mum and dad, I really haven't got any jokes about these guys. They live 2 minutes up the road from me. That, at their age, that should be for me to help them out. For every time I ask them for help, they help me out tenfold. My dad sang for us today. That was his performance from performing in public. He's been singing in public for well over 50 years. He announced his retirement from it early in the year because slugging the stuff around and whatever was becoming a bit of a pain. I'd said to him I didn't want him bowing out at a Women's Institute meeting on a Tuesday night somewhere, so I asked him if he'd sing for me today. So, as I say, it was his farewell performance. It means a lot to me. If any of you see him perform in public again, then today means nothing. I'm not that expressive a person. I very rarely, I'm not one who really often enough tells my parents how much they mean and how much I love them, and I'm not going to start now. They will have to figure it out from the available evidence. Lauren, my daughter, firstborn. I thought what can I tell you about Lauren? I thought I'd put down some of her key characteristics for us to enjoy. She's pedantic. She's very particular about grammar. She hates being late almost as much as she hates other people being late. And she's a control freak. She always has to have a plan, and she copes badly with changes to the plan once it's been agreed. And I looked at these and I thought, where on earth does she get those? I know she's not right, but your mum's got a lot to answer. Seriously, I look at these and I feel proud. I feel people want to live on through their children, and I know with Lauren that I'll be able to do. Joshua, a man of very few words, but when he speaks, it's almost always worth listening. Very much like his father in that respect.
What?
Now Joshua as a person, he's fascinating because he is somebody to whom nothing of interest has ever happened, ever. Good or bad, everything in Joshua's life is somewhere between a 3 and a 7. Part of me kind of envies that. And I've got some examples for you. You'll be able to see the conflict here. Some genuine Joshua quotes here. On having his wisdom teeth out, Joshua said, "It was okay, turned up, bit of pain, went home again." On doing his GCSEs, Joshua said, "No point being nervous, haven't really got any choice, have you?" I think we can all be slightly jealous of that. Okay. But, on driving a Ferrari for his birthday, Joshua said, "It was alright." And my favourite from a few weeks ago, on being asked if he would like a ticket to the Cricket World Cup final, big deal, Joshua said, "It's at Lord's, isn't it? Bit far to go for a drive."
He doesn't take off his jacket.
Before I get on to the main event, and Dion told me that this was meant to be all about her, and I realise I've not done that well. I would genuinely like to say thank you to all of our kids. We're super proud of them. They've made life very easy for the two of us. They get on brilliantly together, and individually we're super proud of them. Sam and Lauren are making big strides in their careers. The others are doing great things with their studies, and we're super proud. The reason we're all here, the reason most of us are here, clearly as the stats will show. My wife, Dion.
The Dion.
I know. So I thought to myself, I've tried to do something here that I thought would be nice, but I realised my charts so far have been a little bit divisive. Calling people rude names, laughing at people, not a pleasant thing to do. I thought, I've got to try and fix this. Apparently I'm also accused of not being very romantic. Dion says that I take more photographs of the cats than I do of her.
Yes.
Now this isn't true.
True.
I went on my phone earlier and just asked it to give me 5 photographs at random. I don't know what's going to pop up. That's one of Jensen. I would have. That's not Jensen. That's Jessica. That's Jensen. But these are completely at random. There's one of Dion. So nonsense, as you can see. But I thought what I would do is I would try and do one final chart for everybody that would try and fix some of the damage I've done. And I thought I'm starting off with a great big sunshine with the word Dion in the middle of it, because cheesy though it is, that's how I feel. And I then thought to myself, do you know what? In this beg your pardon. in this last-ditch attempt at being romantic, for the first time in a very long time, I thought, what I could do, having started with a sunshine, I could put petals around the outside of it, turn it into a beautiful flower, and each one of those petals could have one of Dion's traits written in it. So you can. There's a bit of schmaltz coming up. Sorry. First one, she is fiercely loyal. Anybody in the room who has earned Dion's friendship, you will know she is like gum on your shoe. You can't get rid of her. She will do anything for anybody. She'll treat my kids like they're her own, and she's an absolutely incredible person to have in your corner. Petal number 1. I thought that was a nice one. Second one, beautiful. This is actually, people say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's not true, is it? Well, I'm just saying, Cheryl Cole, Sonia from EastEnders, does anybody disagree? Beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. I thought Dion was pretty stunning when I first met her when I was 8. And if anything, she's improved with age, like a fine wine. She's good fun, and I think people, actually the most important part of any relationship. We've always said that it's very easy to enjoy yourselves when you're, going out, spending money, going to restaurants, going to concerts, But the real trick in any relationship is, do you have great fun when it's just the two of you sat on the sofa of an evening watching some crap on TV? And that's the bit that people struggle to get right, and that's the bit that we do get right. Family is a massive deal to Dion, just as well, bearing in mind how many of you there are. But I've absolutely loved getting to know Dion's extended family. Paul and Lisa and their kids are absolutely fantastic, even Teddy. Sorry Ted, I had to get you in there somewhere. And the big family gatherings we have at Christmas, 22 people for Christmas dinner and whatever, it's absolutely brilliant. And for me, it's been an absolute privilege to be welcomed into the family unit. So thank you all for that. She's a homemaker. She keeps our house or our home in beautiful condition. Dion's actually got quite an old-fashioned view of these sorts of things. Insofar as she genuinely sees it as her role to keep the house nice, to look after the whole family, to put food on the table, those sorts of things. She's not demeaned by it. She doesn't think that's a sexist thing. It's what she wants to do, and she makes the home a beautiful place for us and for friends and family that come to visit. She is loving. She's, Dion, she's smiling, she's tactile. If Dion loves you and cares about you, you know about it, and that's a really nice thing. You don't have to guess. It gives you a sense of security, and again, it's something that I'm hugely grateful for. So I looked at this and I thought, you know what, I've done all right there. I've created something. It started as sunshine, turned into a flower. Lots of nice things around the outside, all of which I genuinely mean. But I looked at it also and I thought, it doesn't quite reflect what I think. I made a slight change. Beautiful is now quite a bit bigger, and it's now called Fit. That's what I actually think, and I don't think I should be criticised for saying so. You will see that fun has had to take a little bit of a hit. As Dion once said to me, she once said that I was shallow, and I said, that's true, but at least it stops you having to worry about being nice. This is the end of everything that I want to say. You'll be pleased to know. You'll be able to go to the toilet and go for a wee shortly. Some serious words to end with. I talked about the numbers and the statistics in the room. To the 68% of you that I didn't know 7 years ago, it has been a pleasure getting to know each and every one of you, and I've been made entirely welcome. And I would also like to thank all 68% for looking out for Dion and loving her and looking after her for the last years. To the 32% of you that are members of Team Phil, I would like to thank you for your patience. I understand. In the words of one of my best friends, Chris Williams, Phil is an acquired taste. When your mates start describing you that way, you know that you're possibly a slightly divisive character. So to those 32%, I would like to thank you for your friendship, and to say that the last 48 years wouldn't have been nearly as much fun without you. To 100% of you, I would like to say thank you so much for being here today. It means the world to us that you've all taken the time out, and we look forward to every single one of you being part of our collective future. Again, I have this contractual clause about it. Technically, it has to be about Dion. So I would like you all to be upstanding and join me in a toast to Dion.
To the Dion.
Thank you. Just before having made a formal introduction, I'd like to give you a slight warning here. Some of you may remember Marcus as the funny, clever, good-looking one from school. I've heard it rumoured that he's still clever. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Phil, if you could just do the admin bit.
Still get to be in bed. Okay, I'm going to the toilet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Running away again.
There were different ways I was going to introduce myself this evening, and John's friend Lisa came up to me earlier and said, "Who the hell are you? What are you doing, best man?" So that's as good as introduction as anything else, right? So what this presentation is about is who the hell are you and why are you the best man? Because as Phil beautifully pointed out with his
Need to stand
presentation of statistics,
Okay, closer to the mic.
is that there's a lot of people who don't know who the hell I am. So what this presentation is going to be about is who I am and my relationship with Phil and Dion. So about a couple of years ago, I was asking Phil, Phil, it must be about 40 years that I've known you by now. Because my recollection of when I came to Droitwich was, it was sometime after the Queen's Silver Jubilee, like 77, 78, something like that. So a couple of years, I'm like, Phil, it's going to be 40 years. He was like, no, it's actually, I came to Droitwich on August 27th, 1979, and I didn't meet you until September the 30th, so it's not 40 years. I mean, does anyone else have this relationship with Phil?
Yeah. Numbers.
He's like my removable hard drive. My memory's shot, personally, right? I mean, I can't remember anything before 2000 and, well, not a lot, right? But Phil can. He has this incredible capacity to remember basically crap, but like lots of stuff. A couple of months ago when I was thinking about what I might talk about today, I was watching a Netflix show called The Travellers. Did anyone watch it? It was really good. It was about time travellers that came back from the future to save the current world from how we might screw it up in the future. Yeah. And there was a character on there who was genetically modified to remember everything that happens in the future. And his name was Phil. No, I'm not making it up. His name was actually Phil, and specs, and nerdy, and everything. It's like...
But he was good looking.
But of course, most of the data in his head is completely useless truth. So I'm like, hey Phil, who was I dating in the 4th year of middle school? He's like, well, you were involved with 3 girls, so don't make it any good. I'm like, okay. It's like, of course, as a point of clarification, involved means you either sat next to them at lunchtime or you stalked them during. I'm like, okay, Phil, all right, that's enough detail. You don't need more of it. But Phil's correction to my recollection of the timeline made me realise that I've actually known Dion longer than Phil. And she gave me this photo. Alright, let's try that. No,
This one's Phil.
there is no Phil. This is the point. So there's a point here somewhere. Oh, okay. Lovely young lady, the aunt. Suave young man. So technically what this means is, I could have called dibs. I mean, I was there first. Phil's not. But I'm a mate, right? So mates don't do that. So, you know. I mean, 40 years ago, longer in Dion's case, less in Phil's case. And how might have it grown? If you don't want it at your wedding, don't put it at your wedding. So Dion has grown up quite fine. And Phil... nerdy spaz that I used when I was a kid just has glasses. I mean, it makes me sick. I mean, the people that I've met from 4 years that have known me for the last 4 years didn't even bloody recognise me, right? Oh, hey Phil, how's it going? You've got glasses. But I mean, despite all of that, I mean, I was seriously honoured when Phil asked me to be his best man. I mean, it is a serious honour. I mean, I did understand I wasn't the first person that he asked, that Simon Holiday wasn't available, and I understand I was second, but that's fine. It's fine. I mean, being central is a huge honour, given the amount of statistics of people who, you know, in his friends. But as with any decision that Phil makes, there was a great deal of data that was assimilated, analysed, and used in that decision. So they were in 3 main categories. So first of all, the first category, as we've established, I've known them both for a long time, so there's history there. Second category, I have some experience in this matter, so I've been best man before. That marriage didn't actually last that long. But it wasn't my fault. I mean, it wasn't anything I did. I mean, the speech went down really well. So did the bride's sister. But I think most importantly, I was I was an integral part of Phil's fledgling love life. Oh no, that went down. Right. No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I helped Phil with his first romances. That's what I meant to say. So his first 2 girlfriends, okay, both of those relationships didn't work out, but I think it's a good thing, because that means he's here today to get it right. So I think that's a good thing. And I'm glad to say I had nothing to do with Phil and Dion getting together, and indeed I needed a lot of evidence, photographic, video, etc., before I believed him. Now I believe him. I mean, I've seen it for itself. I mean, I still don't really understand it. But here it is. So he asked me to be best man, and I was a bit worried about it. So, you know, I had been best man before, clearly, man of experience, but I was worried about what exactly I needed to do to fulfill the role. I mean, did I have to personally wax him on stag do, and would anybody notice if I did that? I don't think they would. But I mean, Phil solved that problem for me by not having to stag do, which I was very disappointed. I mean, that's meant to be one of the things that I'm meant to do, right? Just stand up here and be good looking. I mean, I do that every day, right? Stag do is meant to be what I do, right? You didn't want to do it. I mean, what are you frightened of, Phil? Okay, that's a realistic concern. That is Phil. Seriously, that's totally Phil. I mean, he's a dentist in the movie, but accountant, dentist, it's the same thing. And that's obviously me, face down, with a monkey on my back. Best looking guy in the room. I mean, what were you I was going to invite Hong Kong weaving, Phil, and everything. What was the matter with you? was there too. But he didn't want it. Okay, fine. But I'm not sure really what he was frightened of. I mean, I've been on holiday with Phil 3 times in the past. I don't know why this time would have been any different. So the first time was with my folks, camping in Dorset, which is classic. So this is the first time that I attempted to get Phil a girlfriend, to woo a young maiden, to get him along the line, to get him into the world of relationships. So there was a young lady called Tracy Bovey. She did exist, she was a real girl. But Phil was just too inexperienced, it just didn't work out. Phil was crushed. This is Tracy right here in front of us. That's me, that's Phil. Phil was crushed. And he resorted to certain, I don't know how we say it, certain juvenile self-gratification activities. In the caravan. 4 of us, my parents, 4 of us together in the caravan, 4x2 meters. The audible thwack was there, but Phil was genuinely accused by my mother of this. It was brilliant. She gave us a talking to. He lost all of his nice young man points. It was brilliant. So the second one, we went to a much nicer place. So I went on holiday with Phil's folks to Mallorca, which was brilliant. So. And that's a brilliant photo too, isn't it? So I understand what they call that.
Is that you, Phil?
Muments, did you even feed him at any point? What is this? So again, during this holiday, I've had my choice of matchmaking. This time was success. So set up by me, scored by Phil. I mean, who could resist that? Who could resist that? Certainly not this girl. Unfortunately, she was a bit of a nutter, and psychological damage ensued. But I mean, it's fine now. It's fine. He just has to stay away from Manchester. And there we are. So the third holiday was the last holiday to Salou in Spain, with our mate Stu. That's Stu. So we lost Stu last year. So the last time that I was in this part of the world in a suit, we were at Stu's funeral. So it was an immensely sad occasion to lose him so early in his life. For those who didn't know him, he was a wonderfully warm, kind, and immensely talented man. And he was also a bit of a gullible fool at times. And he was immensely fun to make fun of. So we made a lot of fun of him during this holiday. Not least of which being the comedy run towards the pool as if you're going to jump in there and then stop at the last minute and wait for him to jump in and jump in. Got out with his, "You tricked me" face. Absolutely perfect. Brilliant. So the low quality of jokes in this presentation are a tribute to Stu. So beautiful weather, beautiful accommodations. Really.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But we made the most of it. That's the last slide, I'm just going to leave that one. Phil had 2 shandies by this time, so it was all over.
Yes, well gone for 2 shandies. Well gone.
What happened to my ripped body? There was a ripped body. I look like Phil. Muments, were you feeding me? Or what's going on here? So again, difficult conversations. There was an incident that I've got to address on this that happened to us to our friendship on this holiday. So previous to this holiday, again, I've been plying my trade as wingman, and Phil met a girl with my assistance. Very nice girl, not batshit crazy like the last one. So Phil really liked her. There was an incident on this holiday involving a photo of that girl and Phil and certain activities that he's by now infamous for, and a photograph taken of that activity. And that photograph was made public, and Phil didn't like this. quite understandably. So we fell out. You know, this happens with friends. We got on with life separately. We got our A levels. I went to Newcastle. Phil went to Leicester for a week. And went back to Droitwich. So we didn't talk for a while. He got married, but he didn't invite me. That's fine. I got married, invited him, but he didn't come. And I might have got that timeline wrong, but Phil, can you tell me? No. That's fine. But we were adults by this point, right? I mean, we were grown by this point now, and none of that childish stuff. So, you know, what do adults do? They address the issues, they resolve them. So Phil wrote a proposal on how we might resolve our issues. I mean, it's on letterheaded paper and everything. So we met and we discussed how we might resolve this. He realised he was being a bit of a plonker. I accepted his apology. And we moved on. You know, friends do that, right? So we got on with life. I moved away. He stayed in Droitwich. We kept in touch as much as we could. I came over to see him as much as I could. He could never be asked to come and see me, but you know, that's Phil, right? But throughout the years, you know, now I count Phil as my best friend. He's a man I can admire for many things. You know, first of all, for his tenacity at working his ass off to build a successful business that he has today. But other than Alan Partridge,
I got it, Bob.
for his courage at facing difficult situations that we find ourselves in and finding a way out. For his ability to balance family, work and fun. For his unwavering support to me throughout my trials over the years. For his unrelenting challenge to me when I'm being a bit of a twat, because that does happen. For his consistency and his dependability. For somehow pulling such a fit bird of Dion. Don't get it. For making the friendship easy. I mean, there's no requirement, right? It's like, you know, we don't speak for literally years. I'm on the other side of the world, and you know, when I moved away in the 90s, it's not like you had, you know, Facebook and Insta and all that crap that we have today. I had to write letters, but there wasn't a requirement to keep the relationship going. I might not speak to him for ages, but when I did, it was just like it was before. You know, it wasn't hard. And for not expecting anything from me. So the best example of that was actually in the run-up to this, to the wedding today, when I was worried that I wasn't actually doing anything as my role of best man, which I pretty much haven't. I said, Phil, I'm not doing anything. You sure there's nothing I should be doing? I mean, we've already been over the stag do thing, right? But I'm over that. And he said, your contribution is huge. You're flying from Saudi Arabia to be sat by me on my day. That's priceless. I mean, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. Well, I know you're going to treat Dion well. I know you're going to do your best to maintain a loving relationship and a harmonious family. So I'd like to ask everybody to be upstanding and to propose a toast to the bride and groom, to Phil and Dion. Phil and Dion.
Julia. He's got a huge stuff. Hey.
That I needed to have the last word. I just want to tell you a little bit about how the evening evolves from here. So, Dion and I have never been particularly fans of your regular family disco. We hate party tunes. You are not getting YMCA tonight. You are not getting anything that has a dance that you know the moves to. You are not getting tonight. Sorry about that. We're also kind of the view that the problem when you go to a disco is a couple of songs that you like come on, and then all of a sudden something you don't like comes on, and everybody leaves the dance floor and it kind of dissipates. So, whilst there's going to be a spread of music tonight, it's kind of going to be like in half-hour blocks. So if you like 70s classic disco, chances are you're going to get half an hour of it in one go, and you're going to be able to get a decent dance. When the bit that you don't like comes on, then you can go and have a drink. However, there is going to be, I can exclusively reveal, a slightly competitive element to this evening's dancing. Now, to explain this to you, I have to take you back to when I was 6 years old. I was at Bishopswood's first school in Tadley, in Hampshire, and it was a very strange school. You know, at school when you're a kid, sometimes you have wet break. Well, at wet break at our school, our headmistress, Mrs. Gibb, would take everybody into the hall and lead us in disco dancing. Now, this was utterly bizarre. Now, Mrs. Gibb would stand at the front of the class, and she would dance, but she danced in a very particular way, which I'm now going to demonstrate for you. Mrs. Gibb would dance like this.
Yeah. Like so.
Okay, now, there are a number of important things about the Mrs. Gibb dance. Firstly, your feet must be planted. Secondly, you must move entirely in 2 dimensions. No forward movement, it's a 2-dimensional plane. Thirdly, and this is the most important thing, you must have a slightly far away look in your eye, as though you are clearly wondering how you're going to cover the maternity of the science teacher. So you've got to be a million miles away, but doing this move. Now, I wanted to honour Mrs. Gibb this evening.
Phil, will you just do that again?
Turn okay. What I have here is the this will get a big move from everybody. This is the engraved, says Mrs. Gibb on it, Mrs. Gibb dance trophy. Okay. Now, at some point during this evening, could be at any point, I am going to visit the DJ and I am going to shout Mrs. Gibb down that microphone. At that point, anybody that is interested in winning this beauty must Mrs. Gibb dance. Now, there are a few things to consider. I will be walking amongst you. If you make eye contact, if you smile, if you don't look far away, if your feet aren't planted, if you're moving in 3 dimensions, you are not Mrs. Gibb. Before you try and compete for this, there's a couple of things that I want to point out. If you win this, and I come to your house and it is not on the mantelpiece, I will not be happy. Secondly, if you win this, anybody in this room that knows you or encounters you must call you Mrs. Gibb for the rest of your life. So if you're prepared to take those terms, and I have a feeling that there are some people that will, this will be up for grabs. So keep your ears open, practice your Mrs. Gibb dancing in private, and we'll see how we go. That is all. I am finally going to shut up. Thank you.